Move that car right now! I've got a job to do! Or I'm calling the cops!
He insisted I should move the gate because his truck needed more room. I reminded him that the gate had been there for years, long before he bought that truck. There was another access road just 2 blocks away. It wasn't as convenient, but it was built for heavy equipment exactly like his. Instead of taking the easier route, he climbed back into the truck. That's when I realized he was actually going to force his way through. Metal screamed against metal. Within seconds, years of careful maintenance were destroyed because someone refused to admit his truck simply didn't fit. The gate was ruined. Before saying a single word, I documented everything because I knew the next conversation wasn't going to be easy. Rick laughed it off and claimed it couldn't cost much to fix. His confidence disappeared the moment I told him every repair would be professionally inspected. By Monday morning, a certified contractor arrived. He examined every crack, every bent hinge, and every damaged electrical component before preparing his estimate. When the repair estimate came back, even I had to read it twice. The total wasn't a few $100s. It was $14,800, and the real battle was only beginning. The estimate confirmed what I already suspected. This wasn't just cosmetic damage. It required structural repairs, electrical work, and a completely new automated gate system. The HOA requested a formal meeting after reviewing the incident. For the first time, Rick had to explain his actions in front of people who had already seen the evidence. I didn't need to exaggerate anything. The photographs spoke of themselves, showing exactly how the truck forced its way through my entrance. Rick insisted the estimate was unreasonable. He claimed the contractor was overcharging and argued that the damage couldn't possibly cost that much to repair. The contractor explained every item on the estimate. Once the structural damage and electrical repairs were described, the room became noticeably quieter. A few days later, the insurance adjuster completed an independent inspection. That report matched the contractor's findings almost perfectly. Rick spent most of the afternoon making phone calls. It was becoming clear that the situation wasn't going away as easily as he had hoped. Instead of admitting responsibility, Rick decided to seek legal advice. Unfortunately for him, paperwork tended to be much harder to argue with than opinions. A certified letter arrived a week later. After months of uncertainty, things were finally moving toward a resolution. The repair process was finally ready to begin. But before a single tool touched my property, Rick had learned an expensive lesson about respecting someone else's home. The repair crew wasted no time. As they removed the damaged gate, it became obvious the impact had caused far more damage beneath the surface than anyone could see that first day. Once the foundation was exposed, the real problem became clear. The truck hadn't just bent the gate. It had shifted the entire support structure underneath it. The contractor walked Rick through every repair item line by line. There were no surprises anymore, just the reality of fixing the damage properly. Day by day, the entrance slowly came back to life. Every repair was completed to modern safety standards, ensuring the property would be even stronger than before. When the new gate opened for the first time, it moved more smoothly than the original ever had. Watching it operate felt like closing a chapter on weeks of unnecessary stress. Neighbors stopped to admire the finished work. Many of them had followed the entire situation from the beginning, and they all agreed the repairs looked outstanding. For the first time since the accident, Rick approached without raising his voice. The conversation was short, respectful, and far different from where everything had started. I accepted the handshake because the situation had finally been resolved. Respecting each other's property was a lesson neither of us would forget anytime soon. Looking at the finished entrance reminded me that protecting your property isn't about winning arguments. It's about standing up for what's right and letting the facts speak for themselves. Sometimes the biggest victories don't come from raising your voice. They come from staying patient, documenting the facts, and letting the truth lead the way. If you enjoyed today's HOA story, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable neighborhood story.